We should be live. We should be live, everyone. So, as usual, people, first of all, welcome. It's should I say Merry Christmas or Happy New Year? I don't know. But people, as usual, if you can hear us, see us, just let us know in the chat, please. Yeah, should be able to hear us and see us just fine, but always let us know. And as you can see here, we have a new guest to the channel, which I mean, I'll probably just shut up and let him introduce himself. So, stage is yours, man.
Yeah, so I'm Mudkip Trader, mostly on Instagram. I've been collecting since like as a kid, but then again since 2019, got kind of back into it once we had our first ever Pokemon Center pop up in the UK. I think that was around late 2018 or 2019 as well. Um, so yeah, it's been crazy. I've been kind of collecting back then. Then COVID hit. I didn't buy like too much before COVID, but I did have like a little bit of stuff, like quite old vintage stuff. Went on, sold those around like August 2020. Then went on to just keep buying, accumulating different stuff. Hidden Fates was obviously like the big thing around COVID. Made a few friends. So yeah, I've grown like decently on Instagram. And as of yesterday, I am now a UK vendor. I vended at my first card show, and yeah, it was pretty good. And yeah,
And that's what
pretty
we're going
nice.
to talk about today,
Yeah.
I guess. So what should we start with? Well, I guess where was car show?
So the card show was like pretty close to me. So there's this place called Bracknell, which is really close to Reading, which is where I basically live. Which is in in uh, in the grand scheme of things, it's like really close to London.
Yeah.
It's like probably like half an hour away from London. So yeah, it's like a decent area to do a card show. So yeah, it was that's where it was based. And those guys they've done like one card show before that did well, somewhere else in England. So this was like their second one, and they had a lot of attendees. It was something like 1,000 different attendees. Um, so yeah, 1,000 attendees with 50 tables is really good actually for vendors. Usually you see like something like
Yeah.
100 tables or 150 tables, something like that. So it was pretty good.
So was it hard to get a table?
Sorry.
Was it hard to get a table?
So yeah, so I had no idea on like tables or whatever. Like I'm pretty sure this probably got booked up like 6 months before or something like that. But I was quite lucky. Like I literally messaged the guys, the Pokemania guys, and I basically said, "Hey, you've got this event tomorrow. I'd love to be a vendor. Do you have a table available?" And I was really lucky. They had a cancellation come in like that morning. So it was completely by luck that I was able to just swoop in and take it. And obviously, they needed someone to fill that table as well because it was a good table. It was like right in the middle of the whole event, so
The whole thing.
it was
Yeah.
quite prime location as well. So yeah, it was pretty good. And then me and another guy, Sam, that I've known through this, we both were like, "Let's do it." Like I literally called him that night and was like, "Hey, do you want to do a card show tomorrow or like whatever it was?" And he was like, "What? Like, yeah, let's do it." Because we'd been talking about it for ages to just do it,
So
but it's
so
so hard to get like vendor tables,
okay.
like any show in the UK. I'm sure
Mhm.
it's like that, like everywhere, like Italy or even in the
Could
US
be.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Because it's
So
usually
yeah,
always the same
yeah,
people over and over, I guess.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like I know for London, like they literally sell all their tables at one specific time, and they sell within that first hour, even though it's like
Wow.
200 tables across like 2 days,
Yeah.
or maybe
Yeah.
that's like 400 total or something. I don't know exactly how they do it, but it's a lot of tables. And yeah, it's nuts. Like they will just sell those instantly. Like you have to be there at that time, ready, as if it's like Prismatic Evolutions is dropping like right there
I mean,
to
it
go and
is
get it.
Pokemon after all.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so what was your friend like? Is he a hobbyist like you, or is
Yeah,
he
he's
a
a
pro
hobbyist like
vendor?
me. He
Yeah.
tries to do lots of like TikTok content, YouTube content,
Okay.
Instagram, like loads of him just opening stuff. So yeah, we literally just met. It was really funny. Like I think it was around COVID time. Like we had one of the shutdowns just finish off, and we were like, "Oh, we want to go grade cards for the first time ever. Never met these guys before." and we met like literally where the depot was for where they took the cards. Like the office they had. That was the first time I met him. Yeah, Sam's in the chat
Yeah,
now. So yeah,
very organized.
So Sam, yeah, I met Sam through this card, not through the card show, but like through the depot that we were sending cards through. That was literally the first time we met. But like we met virtually on the YouTube chat. I can't remember who it was. It was someone else that I don't think is streaming anymore or anything like that. But
Okay.
yeah, it was just crazy. We were just like, yeah, let's just go and do this. And we met, and yeah, we've clicked ever since. And yeah, our first grading was nuts. Yeah. Um, that was like really early, like when grading started to come back again after the COVID shutdowns.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've known Sam for like what 3 years now, 4 years, something like that. It's been nuts, but it's been very much on and off. Like I literally didn't chat to this guy for like maybe like 6 months, and I'm literally ringing him that morning or evening, whenever it was, and saying, "Hey, do you want to vend tomorrow?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it was great. It was great for us. Yeah.
Good. So what I mean, I guess we want to know what did you have for sale? What was it selling? What
Yeah.
wasn't
So
selling?
for us, we were like, obviously, we don't have a lot of time to just be ready to do all this. Like, we would have
Yeah.
probably tailored our stock a bit more to what we were expecting. So, Pokemania, who are the guys that ran this, they're basically it's more like family and kid friendly. So you'd probably expect like lower tier stuff, like just mystery packs and like lower tier packs, some like stuff like that, like lower hit stuff like that. So it was quite tough for me because I'm selling like more hardcore Japanese, like older sets and stuff like that. And obviously kids are mostly just going to want English. So
Yeah, and the latest
I had
set
some
as
loose
well.
packs and stuff from some UPCs I cracked and stuff like that. So those did great. And some singles as well that I had to start with. I didn't start with many actually. But yeah, the trades and stuff were crazy as well. Like I was just taking in stuff constantly and going, yeah, this is nuts. Like there'd be kids with like their binders, and they'd have like the standard like V cards and like
Yep.
commons and stuff. And obviously I wouldn't take those in, but like any hits that they didn't want, I could take in for like some margin. And that was like the superpower of kind of being the vendor as well.
And
So yeah.
did you have a fixed margin you were taking trades at? Or
No, I don't think it's good to have fixed. I think the reason being there's stuff that you can sell really quickly. So those things you should put much higher, right? Like if someone came in with a Moonbreon PSA 10, that's like gold standard. You could probably do like 85-90%, something like that, and it would sell for market or even more than market because you're at the show, right? But like stuff that's older that people have never seen Pokemon that aren't very trendy, like stuff that's not Charizard, Pikachu, Umbreon, all these things, that they'll be much harder to sell on, right? So those things I would get at sort of like 60% and stuff like that. So yeah, there's stuff that might be a bit slow to sell, but when it sells, it'll be good. So and then when I've got some, I bought some like a couple of CP6 cards off someone. So they're kind of in the middle. I got like a decent deal on those. So yeah, there's lots of stuff. I started with like a base set Charizard pack as well that I traded down. I think I got some money, and then they had like a first edition fossil pack as well to sell me. So it was great for like all the trades. Like I made some good money on each of those. But for me, it was like mostly the trades. I was like, the trades are going to be really good here. Like I just constantly, whenever someone would come up, I would say, if you have anything to like sell to me or trade or whatever, I'm very happy to take it off you. Like you don't have to match the value of what you're buying. You can even like give me more cards and I'll take it and do it that way. So there were certain people that I would literally cash out things to. There were certain people that obviously were paying me for stuff. But overall, it was great. Yeah.
So yeah. Would you say it was more more trades and just buying off people than selling?
Yeah, I think for me it was probably more trades, but for Sam it was probably more sales. And the other guy that was with us, Halves as well, he was also doing mostly sales.
So what was the difference? I guess it was inventories.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Sam had mostly like slabs and like some more like English stuff. He had like some more modern booster boxes, stuff like that for English. I didn't really have any of the English stuff that I I had it, but I didn't want to like sell
You
it. So
know,
stuff like Fusion Strike or
yeah.
Paldea Evolved, all this stuff, like I would rather kind of keep at this price. So I was like, I don't really want to sell those. Um, but yeah, stuff like that. He had loads of that. He had 151. Everyone wanted 151 there. Everyone wanted Surging Sparks, as you can imagine. Everyone wanted like all the newer stuff, basically Paladin Fates, all these kinds of things. Um, so yeah, it's
And
always the new stuff. We were there like bringing in old stock of like Hidden Fates, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna sell like all 5 ETBs I've brought and a bunch of tins, but I literally only sold one tin of the Hidden Fates, and I was like, huh, what? Okay, fair enough. I guess that's
not
just the way
trendy.
it
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
And,
Um.
I mean,
Go on,
were
Mark.
people
What were you gonna
mostly
say?
interested in sealed or single
For me
slabs?
personally, or
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you were just able to see basically you and Sam's, and
yeah. So for me, I was ready to take all of it. So I was like
Mhm.
more sealed, and then Sam was more like singles and slabs. So it was good match for us because if someone wanted something that the other person didn't have, then you could just literally go to
Yeah.
Sam. Or if Sam doesn't have the certain Japanese sealed or whatever, they'll come to me. So I had Terrestrial Festival. Literally, I was quite lucky. I had Terrestrial Festival come in from Japan literally the day before.
Hmm.
So I had like 20 something boxes to bring to the show as well. Um,
Did they
and
sold
I
out?
sold a few. No, they didn't sell out. I sold a few, but like I priced them quite high as well, so it was like it was fair enough. There's some
Poor
people
kids.
that was selling for even more than me, and I was like, how? Um, so yeah, it was just one of those. I don't think for these shows like Japanese is like that great, to be honest. I
I
think
mean, could
English is
it?
probably best because it's
Yeah,
just kids, right? Kids want to read the
yeah,
card and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the hardcore buyers that you
No,
might expect in like
and
London or something.
did you have the time to take a walk around, see what other vendors had,
I
or
actually didn't. It was so busy. I literally got there at like 8:30 in the morning, and then we finished at like 4, and I was literally at my table the whole time because obviously I'm the only one looking after my own stuff, so I didn't want to take any risks like trying to walk around whilst having to look after my own stuff. There were a couple vendors that walked around to ours, which was good, but I wish I saw I saw some of the aftermath afterwards. So there were people on Instagram saying, "Oh, I did some poncho trades with some alt art
Mhm.
slabs and stuff like that with cash." I saw one of those. So yeah, there was stuff like that happening, but yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't like I don't think there was like loads of that, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So yes, I guess some people actually. I mean, it's interesting though because I think we're. I mean, we see. I mean, it's mainly American, so PokeTubers that show those vendors POV, and I guess we tend to see more the high end. I mean, it's after all, it's what they show us on camera, so
exactly. Yeah,
we don't know really what's going on because we
yeah,
only get to see like what 10, 20 minutes of it, and obviously if they're gonna show you, they might show you a little kid, coming over to the table, and because you're gonna like him because you see, oh, there's a kid who's interested in Pokemon, albeit still alive, but if you got hundreds of those and then you get the guy selling with the ponchos,
yeah.
they're gonna show you one or two kids, and then
That's the
obviously
way it goes. Yeah,
focus on, yeah. So I
yeah.
guess because I mean, if to be fair, nobody really says that. I mean, I don't know if you agree with me. People don't know. I mean, those vendors POV don't really tend to say that there's lots of it's more of a kids friendly show. They
I
always
think it
tend to
really
focus on
depends.
the
I think for the show I went to, that is meant to be kind of mostly focused towards like kids and families because there was a lot of empty room that you could have used for more tables at that show, but they used
yeah.
it more as like a trade area, or I think there might have been some tournaments or something going on. I wasn't exactly sure of what they were using it for, but
Yeah.
they could have easily added another like 50 tables if they wanted to. But there was a lot of open area. Like some like shows, if you've seen, are very cramped. Like you don't have much space at all, like to
Yeah.
move around even. This was not like that at all. Like there was like quadruple the
Plenty of
amount of
room.
room,
Yeah.
like 4 times the amount of room that
That's
you might
good.
see
That's
normally,
good.
which was nice. Yeah. So there was like a lot of attendees. Like there was meant to be something like 1,000 attendees. A
Yeah.
thousand attendees for like 50 tables is really good for vendors.
Good.
Like, as you can imagine, usually the ratio is like way different. Like you'd expect something like 1,000 attendees with like 100 tables or something,
Okay.
which is kind of what I was expecting given like the space that they had. But I
Well,
don't
good
know.
for
It's
you, I
just one of
guess.
those. Yeah,
Less
yeah, it was
vendors.
great for us. Yeah, it was like literally, I was constantly like in the middle of doing a trade with someone, and someone would say, "Can I buy this for this?" And I still have to go back to eBay,
Yeah.
check what the software were, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah,
And then
because
the trades took ages, but when they were done, it was so good. Like there was good
yeah,
value for
but
both.
I
Yeah,
mean, as it was kind of last minute, did
yeah.
you how did you decide what to bring to the table, what to vend, what to actually sell?
I literally tried to bring a mix of everything. Like I tried to bring so much different stuff. There was stuff that I was like, okay, I really want to sell this kind of stuff. So stuff like Shining Fates, Hidden Fates that I had quite a lot of that
Yep.
I just had sat around for ages. There were like a bunch of like character rares from VMAX Climax that I literally had like a full set of that I was like, this looks really good to sell because every card looks really nice and it's really cheap. And I was really surprised, like very few of those actually sold. Like the evolutions sold before I even started the show. Like the guy next to me vending literally went to my stall and was like, "Can I buy all these five?" Like before the show even started, like 9:59, like a minute before, he's like, "Can I buy Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon, Vaporeon?" I think he bought one more as well, and I was like, "Okay, fine, like why not? Sure."
Wait, no.
And then later he told me, oh, he was gonna go grade them. I wasn't sure they were gradable to be honest, but like obviously he thought he did. So yeah, there was that. I don't even know what your question was now. I've just started talking on a
That's good.
total
That's good.
tangent.
So
Yeah,
I
so
mean, so but there was some. So that's interesting though, because it opens up pretty interesting topic for this channel, which is obviously Pokemon investing. So you did say you had some stuff you didn't want to sell, because
mhm.
would that be considered some sort of an investment?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So there's stuff
What
that
was it?
even nowadays, like the stuff that I didn't want to bring, or like
Yeah.
yeah, so I have like booster boxes of like Fusion Strike and Paldea Evolved, and I think there's some like Brilliant Stars there. There's some Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, these kinds of things. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't really want to sell those. I had loose packs of those, Astral Radiance as well, and I was like, I can sell those, and it tends to be that people will buy them at a premium at a show as
Yeah.
well. So if I can sell, say, Astral Radiance sells for £5 at a show, and I can replace it for four, then that's quite easy to just do that and sell for five. Let's say, for instance. So yeah, stuff like that I would sell. Like stuff that was popular, I would sell for more than market because that's just what people really
It'll
want, right?
sell.
So
Yeah.
yeah, as long as you're able to kind of replenish it, it's totally fine. Like there were certain things that I wouldn't want to sell unless I could sell it for a bit over. Like I had evolutions, not evolutions, but evolving skies pack sat there at 25 to start with. Not a single person touched it because I was like, yeah, it's probably pretty crazy to sell it for 25. But
Yeah.
once I said like 20, there was like people that slowly wanted to buy them,
Asking. Yeah.
especially like people that took deals. They were like, I'll buy three for 55 or something like that. And I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Um, and that was like fine. Like I bought them when they were right at the bottom with a discount from Pokemon Center, so fair enough for me. So I didn't mind. Um,
Yeah.
and obviously, you still got to pay off the table. You can't just charge everything at 200 market, 200% of market or something like that. So that's just the way that goes. Yeah. Um, yeah. Let's see. So there's some people in chat. Bass is in chat
Yeah.
saying everything
Marvin.
sells at the right price, and LGS Local to me vends a lot of
Yeah.
Japanese product, but they
That is
split boxes into pack bundles and they sell really well. Yeah,
Did you do
not
that?
surprised by that. Yeah, I'm already planning. I'm already thinking for the next show. What would I do? So like something I would
This.
probably do is probably make some kind of like mystery packs type of thing. Like that sort of thing did really well, and make it like really like on the lower end, basically. So stuff that someone would easily pick up for like £2 to £5 kind of stuff.
Yeah, like
Um,
SV, Sword and Shield
yeah, stuff like that.
packs.
Yeah. So like I would either do something like £10 and put one booster pack in there as well as a bunch of cards, basically.
Hmm.
and then have like a decent like floor and also a really good ceiling as well. Do something like that, and that would be able to you'd be able to get rid of certain stock that maybe takes longer to sell in those, but are good value things, stuff that people might not normally see, which is good. So stuff like that, I think, would do really well at a show, especially because it's aimed at kids, right? Like there were loads of kids that
Yeah.
go to your table. There was like a 5-year-old at my table. He pointed at one card. I was like, "How much is that?" I'm like, 300, and he's 5 years old. So obviously, I look like a dick, like trying to like sell like a 300 pound card to a 5-year-old, and their
Yeah.
face literally goes like what? Like that's 300. He's like, I need more money. I'm like, yeah, you probably do.
I mean,
So
we'll all have been there.
yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's and then the parents as well. Sometimes the parents are like, oh, how much is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's like 50. And they're like, what? Like, how is this so much money? Like, it's ridiculous.
For a piece of
Yeah,
cardboard.
Harvey was there with us as well. Like, it was pretty crazy. Like, he knows the stories as well. Like, it was just hilarious. Some of the stuff I was like,
Okay.
oh my goodness. Shout out to him as well. He had loads of like he had like 3 boxes of Dream League there. I don't know if he actually sold any, but like he had some crazy stock like Team Up, Dream League, like really like sightseer cards, stuff like that. And
Definitely,
I don't.
those
It was not
definitely weren't
aimed
for
at
the
kids.
kids.
It was definitely not
Yeah,
aimed at
definitely
kids.
not for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So it was stuff like that. Um, yeah, exactly. Poor little Timmy got told he ain't got the money for the 300. Yeah, exactly. It's like that.
poor kid.
So yeah. Harves is right there as well. He's like telling a kid the booster box they want is 700 quid is the
Quit.
top 5 worst feeling. There was a kid actually. I don't know who it was. I think it was the Sam. They were like looking at evolutions and they were like, "Oh, how much is this?" And he was like, "Oh, it's 950." And they were just like, "What?" like XY evolutions, right?
Yeah,
The booster
obviously.
box of that.
Yeah.
My goodness, yeah, it was like it's so sad, but at the same time, that's just how it is, right? Like
But I
you just
mean,
have to,
it
you have to
goes.
just, you just have, you just have to tell people, oh, but you can get this for this much, or
Yeah, but I think
say, oh, if you
it
want to
also.
trade in stuff, I can help you get towards that card or box, whatever you want as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, but I think it goes to show that kids just wanna, just like when we were kids, they don't care. They just know they might even not know what the latest set is. They just know there's one. They might not even know what cards are
most
in there.
most 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 of the kids did know like what the newest sets were, to be fair. But yeah,
Well,
there were
but you
some
know
kids
what?
that really wanted to collect the original like base set cards as well. I was quite
Because
surprised
I
by that.
think this
Yeah.
this new generation has access to phones and the internet. I mean, I think I was the last generation where with yes, I could have access to internet, but when I was definitely when I was 5, I didn't have a phone.
Hmm.
And still, even when I was 10, didn't really have access to it.
Yeah.
So I think now it's much more easy. But still, I think they just want to open. I mean, you're a kid, you're 5, you're 8, you're
Yeah.
10. You just want
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
open packs,
Yeah.
and if you want to open packs, you need to afford it. Obviously, you need your parents to buy it, and they're gonna buy the cheapest ones.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was quite strange. Like there was you know how you see like trades on YouTube where they're like, oh, like the customer is also like searching for, oh, that's a really funny
that's
comment by Halves as well. Like, yeah, it's way more than 950 rupees for sure. But yeah, you see those like POV videos of vendors and the
yeah,
customers also really clued up on prices, like looking up prices on eBay, stuff like that.
yeah,
That was not happening like
yeah.
at way less than I thought it would. I thought literally everyone was going to go, oh, but eBay says this. Can I have it for this or something? But
But
very few are actually in reality doing that, unless you're looking for like the more hardcore collectors that are looking
yeah,
for, jungle packs, base set packs, something like that. They're probably thinking, yeah, I might actually need to
yeah. I
start
mean,
looking
I
at stuff
I
like that.
guess people would do it for like 100 plus
Yeah,
items, whatever those are. But
yeah,
it's.
exactly. Yeah,
I mean,
stuff like
if you're
that.
buying an EVO Sky pack, you're probably not gonna look at if it's 20 quid or 22.
Yeah, I mean they'll just compare with whatever other people are selling things for as
Yeah,
well. So there were people that were selling Terrestrial Festival for 80. I was still at 75 because someone else said, "Oh, I'm going to sell it for 75." I was like, why not? Like, let's just see what happens. And he said if someone's selling it for 60, then yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And I said if someone's selling it for 60, I'm gonna buy all of
You're
them and
gonna.
put them in front of people at 70 or something. Like,
I
so
mean,
stuff like that happens as well. Like people,
yeah.
like vendors will buy stuff before shows just so that they have stuff like in front. Like if I had like an extra half hour, if like Sam and Halves were on time, they literally arrived like 25 minutes before the show was meant to start. That's another story. Like if we had more time to actually go around and see what people had, maybe we would have done certain things differently. Like we would have said, oh, actually this person has this, let's buy this, or or they're selling
I
it for
mean,
this, maybe we should price this as this kind of thing.
I mean,
But
if you're
yeah.
doing it for a living and you're doing it as a business, if the show is relatively small, if you think about it, you kind of have like a small eBay in a room
Yeah.
where no one has access to the outside. So if you see a potential, you can literally do a buyout if you see the opportunity. Now that would be pretty evil and quite risky,
It
but
would be pretty nuts. Yeah, it'd be
yeah,
pretty evil, risky, all these things included. But
but
to be
possible.
honest, yeah, that's the thing. It is possible, but like for the most part, people aren't going to put stuff for less than market at a
Yeah,
show. Like it doesn't really happen unless they just have like a lot of it that they really want to get rid of really fast. Like you will just see stuff for market or more than market. It's just the way it goes. Obviously, you can negotiate down for certain things, but like at the end of the day, they can say no, and you just have to move on. And yeah, that's how it goes, to be honest. Because I've been to say London Card Show as someone that wants to go. Yeah, you're always thinking about buyout. To be
I'm the evil
honest,
investor.
so like actually, I want to ask you a question. So you bought out a few, not bought out, but like you bought a few copies of what was that card? Was it Iron Crown?
No
I want to say
comment. No comment.
you don't want to talk about it. All right, fine.
No, no, okay, we can talk about it. Yeah, I think it was Iron
Yeah,
Crowns.
something like that. Yeah.
I didn't
So
buy
I was
that
like,
many copies.
yeah, I mean, wasn't too many, but I'm just like thinking it's not like a card that I'm gonna see people are gonna go super crazy for. Maybe
So
supply side is a different story. Maybe there's just really not that many of them, but
yeah,
maybe
so
it's something to do with the playability, stuff like that.
so
Maybe,
the
but
the
yeah.
yeah, what you're saying is correct. Like I understand people. It's not, as you said, it's not a Charizard, it's not a Pikachu, Umbreon, whatever. I understand that, which is why it is priced at what it is priced. It's not $100 or 150 or 200. It's 60. And then by looking at supply data, it made sense to buy that at that where I bought it at, and now I'm just gonna wait because it's also obviously there's that relationship between the sealed and the singles. So I mean, if I'm not wrong, as seals starts to move higher, singles should follow, and they're connected the two. So also once singles start to move higher, then it's also seal will keep on moving higher until you find an equilibrium, blah blah blah. So, but yeah, that was basically it was due to the supply issue, plus that temporal singles, temporal SIRs are pretty hard to pull, man.
You think so? Are they
Oh
like
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the hardest, or
No, they're not the hardest, but to pull a specific, I mean, the one you want, yeah, specific one. So the one you want,
yeah?
out of a pack, it's one out of a 740, 700-ish, mid 700s. Now with the Twilight was like one in 800, low 800s.
Okay.
And I think with Paradox was a bit easy, like one out of either high 600s or very low 700s. But yeah, they're not that easy to pull.
That makes
So
sense.
that was also another reason why. Plus, I mean, that set just got overlooked.
It did, yeah.
And now I think we're starting to see it coming back, especially with the Raging Bolt, though. But I'm still into the Iron Kitty.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Because I don't know if you know what was it? Do you know Collect Pokemon? You probably watched some of his videos,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The
The
guy in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong based.
So he made a video, I think it was even today or yesterday, I don't know. I watched it today though. Saying, does rarity actually matter? Does it matter if, say, you got a Pidgey Master Ball from 151 Japanese?
Yeah.
Does it actually matter that it's really rare if it's a card that no one really wants?
Not
So it's
really.
like, it's one of those situations, right? Like that card, even though it's really rare to get because it's one a box, you have to, it
Yep.
has the same probability as getting like a, I don't know, Mewtwo, Moltres,
Mewtwo, yeah.
whatever else, right? Yeah. Or a Pichu, whatever it is, like that's the most expensive one. Does it mean that it's going to be the same price or like even move up like as much as the other ones? I don't know. I
No,
don't think
I
so.
mean, absolutely not, because of what you just said. Demand is different, so demand is going to price it differently. And by demand, obviously, the market is going to price it differently, which is why,
Mhm.
which is once again, it's why the Iron Crown is 60 euros, dollars, pounds, and the 60s, and which is like the Charizard from Palladium Fates, which is easier to pull, much easier to pull,
Yeah.
is more than double demand.
There you go.
But you know
Yeah.
what? One thing I learned these years, demand is the most important thing in this hobby, and I think you've seen it. Like as you said with Hidden Fates, you were expecting to get bought out, and almost nobody cared. Demand
Yeah.
is the most important thing. You can have a one of one. If nobody wants it, you're never gonna sell it.
Mm,
Demand is the most important. I mean, and
it's very
I've
true.
seen it. There was a Lost Origin ETBs, like a massive wave hitting the European market in God, I think it was end of summer,
Yeah.
midsummer, end of summer, and we went from the 1,700 copies, so 1,700 ETBs available, to now 200.
That's really low.
Lost,
Yeah.
and we're talking about Lost Origin ETBs,
Yes. Yeah.
so no specialty set,
Did they
no
have
booster
Pokemon?
boxes.
They didn't have Pokemon Center exclusives back then, did they? I can't remember. I don't
I
think
think I
they.
think they did. I think they did. But
So I
I'm
know
just talking about regular ETBs.
Brilliant Stars has the Pokemon Center one, but I don't know if it's like super different. But I can't remember.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think it. I think it.
Hmm. So yeah, that's definitely stuff that I would buy. There's stuff on the UK like Pokemon Center like website that I would definitely be buying because it's just one of those things. Um, I don't know, Barrett, if you've just frozen there, but yeah, I think you might have just frozen there. But the show must go on. I guess Barrett will be back anytime soon now. Um, so yeah, any questions from chat right now? I'm gonna take them all right now. Baz says buyouts are the best. Let's do one for our own Discord. We totally could. We'd need more people. We don't have the same level of people as what's that dude's name? The one from the US that always talks about like buying stuff out. I really don't remember. Um, yeah, I reckon.
That was my bet. That was my bet.
Oh, all good. Yeah, don't worry. I was carrying it all.
That's good.
I was
That's
doing
good.
all
Sorry,
of it.
people. Sorry, people.
I was just saying, who's that dude from the US that's always talking about like buyouts? Oh, Nostalgianomics. That's who I'm talking about. Because
I know what you're talking about.
Baz Toys just said, buyouts are the best. Let's do one for our own Discord. I'm like, I don't know if we've got enough people to be doing that, but
Well,
like,
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because, um, tell me, like, think about a hit, modern hit of, or like,
single.
yeah, tell me about one. Like the,
I'm literally
let's
gonna look
say,
on Card Market right now.
oh, you know what? The most recent one, the Giratina from Zenith, Gold
Yes,
Tina.
yes. I saw that video, your video literally earlier.
We're in the mid 50s to, sorry, mid 40s copies.
That's not many at all.
And average of 200 a piece. But not even that. You just need to buy out the first X.
Okay, so question then. So when the US market moves in terms of those cards, say that shot up by like 20%, whatever it was, right?
Yep.
recently. How quickly is it that the European market then follows that? Does it take a whole week? Does it take like 3 days? Is it 5 weeks? I don't know.
So
Or
that's a good question. So right now, like the most recent one is a Tina,
Mhm.
and it's uh so it was 120. Right now it's 150. I'm guessing, educated guess, by give it 48 by January 1st, it's gonna be 170 to 180 euros. And my prediction is that it's gonna be stabilizing at 170 to 180 euros, which is basically almost $200.
Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
yeah, on average, take a couple of days,
That makes sense.
no
Yeah,
more than a week.
because I've started to see like on my Instagram like a couple people trying to sell the PSA 10 copy of that for whatever market is now, and it seems like a good buy because I don't know if there are some times when the UK market is a bit more than the US market if it's like specific things. Um, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Like that might be one where it's worth buying. Like I bought oh, I've actually got it to show actually. There's a show and tell today. I bought this, the Pokemon. Oh, it's gonna blur it out. So like if I put it on my chest, there we go.
Yeah.
You know this one, right? The stamp box Pikachu.
Yep.
So this was I bought this for £310 on eBay around the start of this month. I'm pretty sure now it's selling for like 400. I'm gonna actually just check quickly, but I'm pretty
And
sure it just.
did you buy it just because you wanted it, or
I bought it because I was like, it's a really nice card. Like if I looked at that card and someone was literally telling me this is worth £2,000, I would believe them. Like that was my rationale.
yeah,
And on top of that, it's only Japanese. Like you can only get that
yeah,
in Japanese, right? Um, it's a fine art piece. It's like the promos stuff
yeah,
like that. It's mixing art from actual artists, like way back in the day, with Pokemon cards. Like we had Van Gogh, that's been
yeah?
absolutely insane. Even though the
That's
supply for
nuts.
that is stupid. Like I was looking at market cap for that versus like a Moonbryon PSA 10, and it's like 5x the market cap,
But
and it's still selling for like 500 a pop.
it goes to what I'm always saying. Demand is the most important thing in this business. Demand.
Demand is everything. Yeah,
Have supply. Demand is what matters.
yeah.
I mean, the Pikachu was 50 euros, and not even like early summer. 50 euros. Easily found like hundreds of copies in the
Hmm.
low 50s.
Yep.
150 euros right now on car market,
Yep.
which translates to $200 in the US raw copies. Just crazy. I would have, to be honest, I would have never guessed it.
You know, I so the reasons I have a feeling. So I was actually thinking about this the other day of like the reasons why this actually happened. So, firstly, the grey felt hat promo. This only came from Europe, right? It was only available
Yeah,
if you purchased stuff.
Netherlands.
Yeah, yeah. So the original ones were from the Netherlands, right? But then
Yeah,
they started doing them as like promos you could get with purchases in the UK. At least you could do that.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Did the US have some kind of event like this? I can't remember.
I don't think you could get in the
Yeah.
US.
So that is the exact reason why it's gone crazy
I
because
think so.
in the US they're not going to have like a crazy amount of supply. They will have like lots, right? But it's not going to be. It's not like you can buy a ETB of prismatic evolutions there or whatever like surging spark. You can just buy over there, crack something like you can get the Pikachu
Yep.
EX SIR, something like that, right? You There's no way of physically getting the supply. If they had the promos come through their own Pokemon Center, they can get that, right? The only way for them to get it is from bringing it from EU, right?
Yep.
So their floor price to buy out all these things was stupidly low. Like if they can buy these for 50 and they're going, well, this we can get this up to like 500. It's so low we can just literally just go buy every single copy that we can get. And
Yep.
because the natural supply in the US is very low anyway because it's all imported from elsewhere.
Imported. Yeah.
It's going to make this stupid event where everything's really expensive. and it's
Yeah.
all someone has basically made that happen. Like there's been a bunch of people that have probably gone, if this is 50, this could easily be like a $500 card. Let's just go buy every single copy because there's only a finite amount, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
And
though there are like a million, like tens of thousands of these, in the
yeah, I
grand
mean,
scheme of things, it's not that much.
pretty reliable sources claim that the population was in the, I mean, 300,000 plus copies printed,
Yeah. And
and
they
that's
there you
about.
go. Bastois knows as well. Like I
Yeah.
watched Catch 'em All Collectibles as well. He said he
Yeah.
literally spent $50,000 on the Grey Felt hat promos in the US, and I think his reasoning was very different. So he bought them at a much lower price to begin with, and then he sold like a little bit after that. And then after he started to see it actually start to go slowly up, like up to like $80, $90, he started to
Yeah.
buy like a lot of them because he
Again.
said, that's it. They're gonna just keep going up now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not something that
But
has gone up, then comes down, then goes up, then comes down. It's just straight up like that. Like it's nuts.
and I remember there were people, and I think you can still find them selling sealed. So they would come in a, when they were available to stores in the Netherlands. They would come in a, I don't know if you've ever seen it, just a white box like this big
Yes, yes, yeah, literally.
with
Yeah,
25 of them
yeah,
sealed,
yeah.
and there were people buying it and I mean selling it and buying it, and I almost thought about buying one
You should have, yeah. It was that like way before when it was like really, really cheap
when it was
or
50 a piece. It was the floor 50
okay.
a piece.
There are some crazy things like that that happen. Like you will see like a lot, but like it just feels like out of your reach, and you're just like, I don't know. If you did buy it though, would you have literally just sold it at 80 or 90 or something like that, or would you?
Probably at 2x, yeah, at
Yeah,
least half,
so
at least half
you
of
could
that.
at least, yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, sell like half and then just keep the rest and see what happens.
Yeah, but
Um,
I remember at the time, because I was reading that, it was, this box was given out to stores
mhm.
for free,
No,
and
was it given out to stores?
I mean, it was given out to stores, and then stores would have to give it out for some sort of purchases related to Van Gogh
Oh, do you mean the actual
items.
museum or like actual
No,
store?
no, stores in the Netherlands.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I mean, at
I
first it
didn't
was
know
only
that.
released in the museum, but then after what
Mm,
happened, all the
yeah, makes sense.
nonsense,
Yeah.
and it just I remember, because I was reading and said, okay, but what if like this should be given out for free? What if it's a stolen item?
Yeah.
So I remember thinking about it, and I just didn't want to have anything to do with it because I'm
That's
just
fair enough.
a
Yeah.
kid.
That's fair enough. Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I'm sure we've all missed stuff like that. There was a time, so there's the Flareon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon. You know the promos that we
yeah,
got
yeah,
in boxes, right? The Japanese versions of those were very, very, very expensive.
yeah.
Um,
It was the
like
summer campaign, I think
yes,
it was called.
there's summer campaign, right? So I had the chance of buying those three cards in the sealed thing for like £800 or £900. So like maybe like €1,000, something like
Yeah,
that, $1,000, something like that. And nowadays they're worth probably like 10x that or
each.
something
Yeah,
ridiculous. Like in tens as well, something like it would have been absolutely nuts. And I
nice.
was just thinking, I was literally just going, there's like very few of them. They're very popular Pokemon. They're Japanese. There's been history of cards that are really hard to get, like that. There's like that Lucario that was really hard to get. There's like some other cards like that. Um, the Rainbow Charizard VMAX that you used to get from Champions Path.
Yeah,
That's like a winner promo thing in Japan. I was like, we have so much history on this, but I was just like 800 or 900 to spend on this is still a lot. Like in the grand scheme of things, you can't just go and do that. But I was
just to
like
learn a
so
lesson.
convinced, and
But
then
you
I
know
didn't
what?
buy it, and I was like, oh,
I remember SM Pratt, one of the last video of SM Pratt, talking about how there's so much opportunity with modern promos that people are just missing out, and we're just seeing every day. You know what? I was eyeing out, and I'm sure it went up, and I'm talking about last week. You know the Greninja and the Kingdra EX
Yeah.
from Shattered Fable from the
Yep.
collection box, whatever it's
So,
called.
yes. So let me
Because
just quickly tell
those
you.
are
So there was
sick.
a, yeah, they're sick. Yeah. So there was a guy yesterday. He was trading a bunch of cards. He had like 151 Japanese like art res, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll buy those. And I got them for like 70% or whatever. But he had those Greninja and Kingdra promos. He had like 6 of each one, and he didn't want to sell them to me at all because he was like, they're gonna go up, and I was like,
Yeah.
I really wanted to buy them as well. And if I had even at like 80 or 90%, I would have gone, yeah, I want to buy those. But he had like 6 of them. He didn't want to even sell me one of them because he was like, these are going to do really well.
See
So
that?
now I'm stuck. Now I have to go and buy these somewhere else.
Because
But
there was a seller. It's always the Dutch sellers. It's always them.
no, he was just a UK guy. But yeah, I
Yeah,
would
but
have thought it would be
over
Dutch
here
guy. But yeah. Um, yeah, it's
now.
super nice promo. I would buy it. To be honest, I would even think about just buying the PSA 10 because I don't know what the. It's worth looking up, but I'm not sure what the PSA pop report is like. Like if the gem rate is like 60%, 70%, then maybe I'd just try
Yeah,
getting.
I guess it would
Uh,
depend on the price of like of the 10 actually.
yeah, I'm gonna just quickly try find it if I can. But
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too, but
um,
I should probably just share the screen.
yeah, go for it.
Oh, it's gonna be a tough one. So let's see.
Here we go. I found it as well. So the Kingdra is actually much easier to grade. So there's roughly like 6,000 graded, 4,300 are tens, and about 1,800 are nines. So, and then the Greninja, there's about 8,400. So more of those have been graded. It has a similar amount of tens, so 4,500, but there's quite a lot of nines. It's like 3,309. So I would actually go buy the Greninja PSA 10. That's quite a good indication that they're quite hard to grade. It might just be worth literally just buying it. Only maybe like half of them get tens on our like across the board. So I
Yeah,
would probably consider buying that.
do you know about this one? Because I do, and I thought it was
That's
pretty
what
cool.
the Chinese version,
Yeah,
Taiwan version.
yeah, uh, traditional Chinese.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's pretty. But yeah, I mean, look at because I do have data for this.
Oh,
I
you
was
do?
looking at it. I should probably just. I'll
What's
look
the
at
data
it.
telling us?
Should we let the people of YouTube know?
We need to let them know. They're missing
Uh,
out. They need to subscribe. They need to like. You know,
that's
more people need to know about this.
we should remind them more often.
Yeah, because like guys don't know, right? But like Barrett, how long have I known you now? Like this whole year, nearly something like that. I don't know.
Could be like a bit less than a year,
A bit less than a year, yeah. So
maybe,
so it's been like quite a while now, and you're still fairly new as a YouTuber, like relatively.
for some
Um,
reason.
for some
Because I
reason, yeah,
know what I think my brightness is misunderstood.
yeah, it really is. It genuinely is. It's like if you so there's a whole field of like financial engineering, right? Where people just find like different corrections and like different things in prices where actually this should be worth this or this is worth this or whatever, and you just go bet on it basically. Um, and they just make money like that. Like this is all financial engineering in a way. I mean, it's not actual like financial advice, let's say, but like it's
I
genuinely
was
really good stuff. Like I'm constantly like watching your videos and going, man, if I had all of this data to just plow through, I could just go, oh, I'm gonna
I
do
could be
this,
rich.
this. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
So
Uh,
I will uh
so
Discord.
yeah, I'm genuinely thinking about getting the Greninja 10 as a 10. The only thing is the Greninja in a 10 is like,
Yeah,
I want
so this is supply for the Greninja. And I remember looking at it, and this would be a great exercise. Because here's what I see. What I see is there's people listing the card, the ups.
mm-hmm.
There's people wanting the card, aka buying the card, the downs. I mean, it says yes, there is a large amount of supply, people listing. So when it goes up, obviously Supplies there,
Yep,
but there's people buying it, and that's what we care about.
for sure. Yeah. The
And
only thing is, you probably need to see like, yeah, there you go, price. So price has started to,
price, it is starting to move
yeah,
higher, so it is indeed saying that demand is there.
yeah. I would say actually on that previous supply graph, if it breaks out of that 100, if it goes like below 100 there on the
It is
supply
below.
graph,
It's
or
like
below, yeah,
the
if it goes below 80, let's
80.
say, that's like a very strong indicator that that's a really good promo. Like,
You know what? I don't think. I think it would depend on, because right now I've just been selling out.
mhm,
So I guess it depends if there's gonna be more sellers stepping into the market, and if so, at what price? Because there's gonna be sellers, but they're gonna list at a higher price than when it got cleared out. Because it got cleared out, as you can see. I mean, at the oldest price, which was low.
yeah,
So it's actually quite interesting.
yeah, it's really good stuff. Yeah,
And obviously, I
um,
can do this with everything I have data for. So yeah,
literally, yeah, it's
but
pretty nuts.
yeah, promos
Um,
are, I think, are a great area. Did
I
you have
think,
any
yeah,
at
the
the other show?
sorry.
Did you have any promos? Yes.
In terms of promos, I was buying a couple. Like I bought some Mewtwo promos, the one from like the 151 side of things,
Oh,
the
that's a good one. I missed
English
out on
ones.
that.
People literally just selling them to me for like half price, and I was like, fine, I'll buy these. Like this is so it's like completely insane to me, right? So if you go to a show, right, you just go to a show as like someone just there for the day, right? Like, buying, selling, whatever, just attending as a visitor, right? You don't have that special superpower of being able to say, I will buy this for 60 to 80% off someone, because they'll just go, who are
Yeah.
you? Like, you're just some guy. Like, but if you're behind this strange mystical desk with all of your product in front of you, they go, wow, I'm going to sell this to you to now 60 to 80% of market. I'm like, it's mind blowing. But like, you make so much money doing that. Like, there are people like just doing this as a living now. Like especially in the UK, we have so many shows now. The Pokemania guys were saying they wanted to do something like 50 shows next year, which is like,
Wow.
I don't know if it's going to be like too many at that
One a
point. But
week,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. I mean, they've only got 10 planned. It might be the next year they're planning 50. I'm not too sure, but it's a lot. Like, there was a guy even talking to me at the end. He was saying, he does a lot of like Lego shows. So like like Lego, like Lego.
Yeah.
Why am I trying to explain Lego to you? But yeah, so yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I go to Lego shows. People buy entry or whatever. We have vendors there, but
But
like
did
people
they?
don't buy off vendors like that. They just want to go play with the kits and tell kids about like how great these kits are. They don't
But
really. It's not like this crazy consumerism that we see
yeah.
in Pokemon. Like then
But
there's
do they sell like sealed Legos or
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sure they do. Yeah, I don't know
how
the
does
ins and outs, but it's probably something like there's loads of secondhand Lego stuff that goes crazy. Like I have
I
a friend that buys it from time to time as well.
because
It's pretty good.
I know nothing about Legos, but they're now making the F1 cars
Yeah, that'll
for
be pretty
adults.
nuts.
I want to get the obviously the Ferrari,
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. So
which I think
those,
it's
yeah,
to be honest, I think it's the one people care about because
definitely, yes.
you think about
Have
a
they
race car.
done? Yeah, have they done any F1 ones before? Maybe they haven't actually. I don't
I
know.
think they have, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken, McLaren.
okay, yeah.
Um,
So in the Lego world, how it works is they can literally just reprint something again.
yeah,
And obviously there's probably some small differences to be able to tell this is one from this year, this is the one from like 5, 10 years ago. But there are people that make the same ones again, and it does like make the price drop again.
yeah,
But it's quite similar-ish to Pokemon, where you still have stuff going up like crazy. But it's just the reprintability in Lego is way like crazier there than it is here. Like after 3 years, you probably don't expect anything to get printed in
yeah,
booster boxes or ETB stuff like that. But that happens in Lego. Like people just say, "Oh, this Star Wars Lego thing that they haven't made in 10 years, like the Millennium Falcon, they'll
yeah.
just go make more of it." Like and people will just go buy it again.
I mean,
They might sell it for a higher price by that point though, because
yeah.
retail price might have changed, but it does
But
affect
do you think
the secondary market.
that kind of goes to show that Pokemon watches the secondary market and they do care about the collectability
I
of their
think they have
product?
to. Yeah, they have to. It will totally like ruin their brand. Like they've probably seen what happens to Magic the Gathering. Like Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering is going through some crazy phases where certain products are doing really well and some are just like total shit shows. Like they're just not doing anything. And the company behind it, Hasbro, like if you've ever watched any alpha investment videos,
Who
you'll
hasn't?
know what. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll know all about what happens there. I don't know anything about Magic. I've played it a few times, but even I know about what like the general market says about Magic and Hasbro and stuff like that. And yeah, it's nuts. Um, so yeah, there's also, so I'm like nowadays like really interested in like the greater like economic effects rather than just looking at what's happening in Pokemon. Like obviously next year is going to be great for Pokemon. We
Yeah.
would anticipate a year of really good sets like we had at the end of Sword and Shield. So last year of Sword and Shield, what did we have? We had like Brilliant Stars we started with, I think, all the way to Crown Zenith, and Crown Zenith
Yep.
was like the best set we'd seen in ages, right?
Yeah. I'm waiting on
Probably,
65 packs of Crown Zenith.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I recently bought some booster bundles of that. I didn't bring them to the show again because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get them back, basically.
But I mean,
Uh,
loose packs are now cheap. They're like €5.
yeah,
And you can
it
find
was.
them in mass
Yeah,
quantities.
it felt
Whereas,
weird. Yeah, because I had loose packs that actually sold better
mm,
than Sam having the sleeve boosters, and like that was weird because the normal packs people would say, oh, someone searched that, someone's gone,
yeah.
and
But could
you
it be
know
that people just look at your pretty handsome face, they see a trustworthy man?
maybe it's possible. You have to be a good salesman as well. Like you have to be
Yeah.
able to. There's some level of having to put on a show for the day, kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it does really help. You can't just be like the most like shy,
Yeah.
kind of negative person. Like people wouldn't want to buy off you.
Yeah. I mean,
But if
after all,
you, yeah,
you're working with people, so
yeah, exactly, right. So you need to have that kind of charisma. You need to have that. People love a story. Like if you can tell them a story about something, or like
yeah.
something to help someone's day. Like for instance, I didn't have to do this, right? But there was a kid. There were like two kids that were like buying a couple things off me. They kept coming back and forth, and I found like a random like I think it was like a baby shiny from what's Paldea Fates,
Holding your
or
face.
I think
Yeah.
maybe it's before that actually. It was just in my bag. I was like, oh, whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna give this to one of you, but you have to play rock, paper, scissors between yourselves. And the dad was so happy with that. He was like, what, like you guys are great. Like, thanks so much for doing this kind of thing. And like even just small things like that. Like
Yeah.
that card doesn't mean anything to me, but for those kids, like they were like, oh, that was so cool when we did this or that. And
And they're
the
probably gonna
feeling.
remember it.
Exactly, yeah. Which is also really, really helpful for the hobby, right? Because
Yeah.
if you want to be able to sell your cards in 20 years' time, you have to be able to tell kids how awesome Pokemon was like
Yeah. Back then.
around this time, right? So yeah, it's really important for the growth of things.
Yep.
Um
So that's a pretty
yeah.
good comment from Bass. But
Yeah, what did he say? So remember 30th anniversary is in 2026. I think 2025 will be the run up of amazing sets through into the 30th anniversary hype, and then when we have no money left, bang, 30th anniversary set. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I would agree. I think I can kind of for sure see next year being really good. Like
wouldn't
people are already saying like prismatic evolutions is really hard to find. Every set from now is probably going to be quite hard to find, I would say. But the thing is, there are bigger market forces. Like what if Trump comes into America, right? And there's a recession, then people aren't going to want to go to shows all the time and buy things or whatever else, right? There's always some bigger effects of like, things that can happen that will go, actually, Pokemon is such a low level thing in terms of the economic pyramid of things. You have to take those things into account, right? So I've started to think more on a higher level of economic activity to go,
but
okay, this is good or bad for Pokemon.
I mean, if you think about it though, through COVID, the whole market was effed, whereas
What
Pokemon
for?
boomed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So Pokemon did really well
So I
then.
guess it would
Yeah.
need. I think it would obviously. I think you know. I think you're describing a Black Swan event,
Yeah.
but it would need to be a Black Swan event uh, correlated to Pokemon.
Yeah.
But
Do you
I
mean
mean, but
for the 30th anniversary or like?
no, for just Pokemon to do bad.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's what. But also wouldn't 2026 wouldn't SV be over?
Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah, I
Because
think didn't
next
they
year should be
say
the
there
last one.
was? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're talking about having a year as a break or something because we haven't had anything new for the video game side of things for
Yeah.
a while now. I don't think there's any plans for next year. They keep saying there's going to be a fifth gen like black and white era game, and the new TCG set for
But
that
yeah,
in May or whenever it will be
hints to it.
hints to it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't confirm it. Like it doesn't confirm there's going to be a game. It's just like a more. It gives more speculation, right? It makes
I'm
you go,
pretty
oh yeah,
excited about the black and white remake. To be honest, I mean
it'll
the
be good.
TCG.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are
Nice.
that, and that's why I'm a bit biased on the Iron Crown because it's
Yeah, that's
Kabbalion
true.
to me.
Yeah. To be honest, though, I did that as well. So back when Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out, the remake for Gen 4,
Yeah,
I bought like a Diamond and Pearl pack, like the base pack,
yeah.
right? But nothing
Nothing.
happened to it. Nothing happened to it. It doesn't really affect TCG like that.
Yeah,
People go, oh, this is going to come out, so I better buy this, this, and this.
yeah.
But
I know.
it doesn't happen exactly
But
as you
I'm a
think. But
big Dialga and Palkia fan, especially
fair
Dialga,
enough. Yeah,
because the first and only game I played was Pokemon Diamond
there you go. Yeah.
on the
So that's
DS, and
my little brother's the same. My little brother is like 5 years younger than me. His like first game was like Diamond, so
yeah,
or Pearl.
I'm
I think he started on Pearl, but yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I'm blowing up on the Palkia and Dialga from Astral because I think they're so cheap. And on today's video, I talked about it. I'm seeing some movements on TCG players on the American market. I looked at Dialga.
for Dialga, really.
Yeah,
What the
it's moving.
Astral Radiance one?
Yeah, the old art.
I'm really surprised. I really don't like that card.
I do. I love it.
As a
It has all the lunar phases in the background.
yeah, that's true. Like I guess it's misunderstood for me, but me personally, I don't. I've seen that card. I've had that card. I remember buying it after like an EUIC last year. I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the year before.
Last year
Was it last? Yeah, it must have been last year's. So yeah, I bought
or
one of
this
those
year.
cards off someone.
I think it might have been this summer.
EUIC London would have been last year. It wouldn't have been. I don't
Yeah.
think I went to this year's one. It would have been last
Oh, yeah.
year or the year
Sorry.
before. So yeah, I was like thinking. Yeah, I looked at that card. I've seen it, and I'm just like, I don't know about this. Like now that you said it's Faces of the Moon, I'm like, oh, actually, this is quite cool. But
not only that, I mean, if
someone
you look
had
at,
to. But that's the thing. You had to kind of explain to me why it was cool. Like I didn't immediately kind of say.
I mean, I love Dahlia, so I'm biased, but I think it's a
Yeah,
great card. And you know what makes it great? The price.
for sure. Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Had
Like
it
Astral
been like
Radiance is.
150, I probably wouldn't touch it.
Yeah.
But I just sold the PSA 10. And I'm blowing up on Rock. I'm not a huge fan of graded cards because I mean, when you look at it and when you want to look at them, you just want them out of a sleeve, out of anything, out of a slab.
Yeah, I think so. It's weird. Like I don't like grading. Like I don't think grading really does too much. Like in my opinion, like so to
I
explain,
mean,
like
I like
grading.
mint copies, but I
Yeah,
didn't.
mint copies are really nice, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but I just don't want them graded.
yeah, grading is like something I've turned more off of recently. Like the last couple of times I graded, there were cards in there that like graded like an 8 or a 9, and I was just like, this is the cleanest card I've ever seen. And it's consistently happening that they're getting lower grades, where previously whenever I was grading it never was an issue, right? But like it's just the fact that I'm getting 8s and 9s on cards, like I can't even, maybe I'm only like breaking even on all of my grading fees now with the cards or something. It's just it's just kind of ruining it, right? So now I have to really think about which cards I'm really trying to grade, which ones I'm not. I used to have really good like gem rate, like 80-90% of cards I send would have
Hmm.
been tens, but nowadays
Good
it's
eye.
nothing like that. It's like stupid. Um, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
I've turned off grading, but like I don't mind actually buying PSA 10 copies of things where I used to be like, this is not a good idea to do because you
yeah, I
can
mean,
make a 10 yourself, right? But
I think
nowadays,
it's
I think it's actually harder to do that. So
I think it's good if you want to if you buy them to make. I mean, the way I see it, it's good if you buy them to just to flip them. You see opportunity.
yeah,
For my PC, I just want to mint it, and I'm happy with PSA 9 qualities because I mean, especially if it's PSA 9 just because of centering
yeah,
or just minor issues, because
hmm,
PSA 9 is mint. If
yeah,
it's a true 9, it's mint.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um,
No, that
but
makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
this Lugia, I just bought one. Thanks also to Blastoise.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's I regret it not buying it when it was so cheap.
Which one? Sorry, the Lugia
From
V. Or...
Tempest, yeah,
Oh yeah.
the
So
broken neck Lugia.
Lugia V. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those. Yeah, I've had all of them. I actually really liked that Lugia, to be honest. People really didn't like it when it came out, but
I
the
loved
thing,
it.
I'm not so sure about that set as a whole. Like, I don't think Silver Tempest as a set is as amazing as some of the other ones. Like you
No,
have the
I think it's
Lugia,
pretty bad, but it has
yeah,
Lugia. I mean,
and the
if you think
Lugia is
about
nice, but yeah,
so, I think Twilight is in terms of depth, Twilight is better than Tempest,
hmm,
but Lugia is much better than Greninja, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. I would agree with that, to be honest. Um,
And
yeah,
I
it
think
was.
also that with the Solar Tempest, the fact that it's part of Sword and Shield, I think it's gonna play a role,
Yeah,
and just
to be
bring a
honest.
premium.
So I don't know how much you know about the history of like where the kind of the boom and the bear market kind of ended and started rather. So around that time, Lost Origin came out before Silver Tempest, and that Giratina V was like crazy. Like people were buying that like so
Yeah,
much, right? But the thing is, like that was around the time when the boom kind of officially ended. Like
yeah,
Silver Tempest came out, and it was just like everyone's kind of done with like everything here, and it was really
because
weird
of
to me.
SC. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was really weird to me because I was like, the Lugia, if people are buying, certain cards from previous, like the Giratina or whatever else, like this should be worth like people should be grading this. Oh, hang on, I've totally forgotten something. Right. So there was a time, right? So Giratina V, if you graded it a 10, you would have made $1,000 or something stupid, like right at the start, something like this. And this trend kept going for ages and ages.
yeah,
Every single card you would grade, you would make like, and it was the first one you'd get would be like 1,000, like whatever it is, right? The moment the first time it didn't happen, like to that level where you would have a stupid amount that someone would pay for the first one, was that Lugia V Ultra.
yeah,
For a very long time that happened, and now we've had like ages until we've actually started to see that really happen again. And Greninja was kind of like the first time it,
the first.
I guess,
Yeah,
happened. It wasn't as crazy as it could have been, but it was still pretty mad. Like the Greninja, I can't remember what the first ones were selling for, but it was like pretty nice. And now we've had the Pikachu. The Pikachu is selling like 1,000 again, so we're
yeah,
back
but also
on
don't
that
forget
trend
about
again.
the Magikarp.
The Magikarp, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we did have like the Magikarp as well.
That's selling
We had
for like over 1,000 now.
it is now, yeah, but
And it's a
previously that was only like
$200.
300 maybe when it first came out, which for an illustration rare was still
Yeah,
crazy. 1,000 is nuts. Like a
it's
thousand
not.
is crazy. Like I can
Then
see like in 2 years time, I would say like 2026, maybe 2027, like around that time, things will be maybe a bit quieter again. Those
I think
cards won't be.
it's gonna happen earlier.
Yeah, I think it's personally, I think it's gonna be 2026 to be honest, but like you can't really time it. But I know it's gonna eventually happen.
I think it's gonna happen
Um,
sooner than expected.
because it's always in that year where a new era starts, a new generation starts. Like we've just had Scarlet and Violet now. It always starts when we've got like Gen 10 coming in, and the first sets are always terrible. The first four sets aren't like anything
Yeah.
crazy. You're gonna have the base set, no one's gonna care about it. Second set, no one's really gonna care. Like the second set for Sword and Shield was Rebel Clash. Does anyone care about Rebel Clash? No, only Sam. Sam, my friend Sam, he really loves it. He's like Rebel to the moon, and he actually bought some back then, and he's actually done well with it. But like, and second set here was Paldea Fates, not Paldea Fates,
Evolved.
Paldea
Yeah.
Evolved, yeah. So we had the Magic Cup that did well, but like we don't have like a super chase card out of that aside from the Magic Cup. Magic Cup is just a illustration rare, so we've still got a lot to go through with the sets from next year. But after that, we're gonna it's a 3-year cycle every time with Pokemon on this. The first year is
Yeah.
terrible, second year is all right, third year is really really good, and it happens every time.
Yeah. I
It's
guess we're gonna
happened like the
find out.
last 3 years now since like what Sun and Moon. No, even maybe before the XY used to be like that. Yeah, I think X and Y had kind of a similar trend as well. Where you have like the first year not so good, second year is better, and third year is like really crazy. So yeah, shit like that happens.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I guess with Scarlet and Violet, the fact they brought illustration rares, I think brings it to another level compared to the other eras.
Yeah, that I can agree with. But yeah, that was pretty much.
But I
them
get your
listening to
point. I
what
get your
people-
point.
Yeah, exactly. So they brought in illustration rares because people were like, oh, we love the artwork. We love cards where we just see like the
Yeah.
Pokemon in action
Yeah.
kind of thing and doing certain activities or in their natural habitat kind of things, right? That's they were like, this is so easy as a moneymaker. We're gonna bring in more artists now. We're gonna start making like really crazy cards. People are gonna have them and they're gonna look really nice in people's collections. And yeah, they literally went. These did really well from Sword and Shield. Let's just do it again, but like a lower rarity. And trainer galleries were
Yeah.
basically like the earlier gimmicks. So it was like that they basically tested with those first, and then they were like, oh, actually, we're gonna do this in kind of like every set for Scarlet and Violet now. And yeah, it's worked, to be honest. But the illustration rares they had in that first year, nothing really crazy aside from the Magikarp. Like you could get some illustration rares, but it would be like Pokemon that aren't super favorable. Really, it's
Yeah.
not like you're getting like
I
crazy
mean,
Pokemon
you
there.
don't, but still now you get all the just a couple of Pokemons that are pretty, relevant as collectability wise,
Mhm.
and then just newer Pokemons. Like if you think about Surgeon Sparks, got the Latios. What else?
For Surging Sparks, they got
Like on
was
top
it
of your
Lapras?
mind?
Oh, Milotic. Milotic is my
No,
favorite one.
illustration rare.
Oh, illustration rares. I think it's just Latias, right? I can't remember.
It's
Are there any other
Latios.
ones?
I mean, just
Let me
relevant
search.
ones. I mean, you got. I think you got the. But I mean, the one that pops in mind, just the
Latias
Latios.
is doing really well. Yeah.
EX, yeah.
Let me just quickly check. There's like Scarlet and Violet generally, I don't know the lists of
Yeah.
cards that well. Sword and Shield, I knew way more.
Yeah, what do you think it's gonna be the next IRs? Are they gonna be what's the new set? Battle Pet Partners?
Battle Partners?
What are they introducing? Like trainer cards?
Yeah, basically basically Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge from the first
Yeah.
from like the original sets.
Yeah.
Basically, it's basically like another one
Same
of those, and people liked those cards at the time.
Yeah.
I remember having like certain cards from that like back in the day, and it was really nice. And the thing is, people are really not liking like I see comments of YouTube comments on videos, and people say, "I really don't like Battle Partners. Like, I don't think the set's gonna be really cool."
Yeah, I
But
don't like it either.
okay,
So
but
far, from what I've seen.
the demand in Japan is nuts.
I've seen it.
You've seen it, right? So I joined that queue as well. Like
I've seen the prices.
Yeah, it was nuts, right? So I joined it. I got my one box, but it took like 2 hours. But I saw people on Instagram literally telling me like that evening, So I got it sometime in the morning. That evening, it took them like 4 to 6, 8 hours, something like that, of queuing before they were even able to get one box. And they know that they're not going to be able to make lots of this box. They've only been able to get people like one box each.
Crazy. You know
It's
what? I
it's nuts.
think
It's nuts.
when it comes to investing, I think that's when you need to look at what no one else is looking at. So I
It is
think this
it
is
is
the
good.
opportunity.
I think people took that opportunity as well. So when we had the first, like the base set of Scarlet and Violet, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, those sets were coming out. It wasn't like super crazy at that time. Obviously, we had the Magic
Yeah.
Up and stuff, right? People were going back to Sword and Shield and starting to buy those older sets up. So
Yeah.
all the mid-era stuff, Chilling Reign started to go up. Evolving Skies, that was the time when Evolving Skies was starting to come up a lot. Um, what was the fourth set? Fusion Strike, yeah. So Fusion Strike was another set where the cards, I think some of the products were still being printed. Obviously, even now they're still being printed, but the Gengar was just continuously
Yeah.
going up and up. So people revisit stuff. If you have sets that aren't good coming out and people don't like them, they'll go back to
It's gonna go
previous
back.
stuff,
Yeah.
and that will also happen. And I've also seen people on the whale slash distributor side, they do the same thing, right? So if it's kind of like a reverse situation this time though. So prismatic evolutions, everyone wants it, right? There's like people are ordering 10 cases. You can only get like say 2 cases, 1 case. I don't know what Baz Toys might be able to tell me what if he got allocation for it yet or not, but because I asked you at some point, ages ago, some time ago anyway. But yeah, everyone's got terrible allocation. Everyone, even Rudy's made a video of like everything's gonna start at like, say it's a booster box, you're not gonna be able to find it at
Yeah.
100. Everything's gonna start at like 130, 140 kind of range, and then you're just gonna see stuff just slowly go up to like 200, something like that.
Yeah.
You're not
You
gonna be
know
able to
what?
get these crazy deals where you got stuff like 100
You
back
know.
then.
You know the Poke Plumber.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Is it's an American collector who is famous for having like a wall of booster boxes.
Okay,
It is often into nostalgianomics live streams.
okay.
Um, it gave me some food for thought. So with the prices of prismatic being so high,
Yep.
do you think people are gonna? I mean, would you expect less people to rip it, so less singles available?
Probably, but there's always going to be people that are just going to rip it, to be honest. But yeah, so there's going
I
to be
think.
people out there that are going to buy it for like 120, but there is a lot of stock ready at Target in the US, from
Yeah.
what I've seen from certain discords, saying that there's going to be literally like 100 something thousand like ETBs available at Target on release day. So there is a lot of stock still gonna come in, but people will pay like a premium beforehand, like $100 or 120, whatever it is now, and they're just gonna get wrecked because it's gonna come down. But the issue is, right, if you're a store, someone that owns a Pokemon store, right? So this was like me trying to finish the point from earlier.
Yeah.
If you can't get lots of prismatic evolutions, right, what are you gonna do with thousands of dollars that you need to stock up? You're gonna buy all the previous stuff, right? You're gonna buy all of Sword and Shield. You're gonna try and buy all the previous stuff because you need to still have product available for people to buy in future, right? So if
Yep.
you can't get 10 cases of prismatic evolutions, what are you gonna do? If you can only get
Buy
two,
older stuff. Yeah.
you have to go back and buy battle, build and battle kits from Fusion Strike, three pack blisters of brilliant stars. Both of those things available on Pokemon Center UK, by the way, and I will probably be buying. So yeah, all these kinds of things, like they just go back. There's like two events where that happens, right? There's two events where people go back to things. One is when the future things are going to be stupidly expensive at distributor level, and they have to set a certain margin on those things because they just can't sell enough. That means they have to go back. And when sets are not good, they also go back to
Okay.
previous sets to say, oh, I want to buy Fusion Strike. I want to buy all these
Yeah.
things because 200 is not that much for Fusion Strike, to be honest. That could easily be 500 like tomorrow, and you'd be like, fair enough. Like, yeah, that's the way it
Yeah.
goes. I have started to see resistance though. Even at the show yesterday, there was a guy basically being like, "There's loads of people that ask for the price of Evolving Skies." Goes, "Oh, how much is this?" And then they realize actually this is really expensive now, and then they start to move towards other things. It's not just Evolving Skies that I'm buying it. People have more kind of thought and reason to go. Actually, if this is 25, I would rather buy Fusion Strike at 7, something like
So
this, right?
yeah, I think that's
So
what's gonna happen,
that
and
you
I'm
see
seeing it
it in real
happen.
time. You see it literally there in
Yeah,
front of you. People are making these decisions. This is the great thing about shows. You're there in person. You can even ask, like, do
yeah,
you think this is too much? Would you rather buy this? And then they'll literally tell you. That's what people think. Like, that is literally how the market is thinking.
yeah,
So all these things are gonna go up. Like, it is pretty much, if there is no recession, like tomorrow or in the next like 6 months, you're basically making free money on all of this Sword and Shield stuff. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
crazy. Yeah, I actually just bought sleeve boosters for pretty cheap Fusion Strikes,
Oh, okay,
but
yeah, that's good.
I bought 48, so not
Nice.
many. But
So way back when, so they used to do this for Evolving Skies, right? So when I bought Evolving Skies, you could buy 72 at a time on the Pokemon Center website. At the time, I can't remember why. My friend had a 15% off anything you want purchase. So there used to be £4 a pack for the sleeve booster of Evolving
yeah,
Skies. I got it for £3.40, which is probably the cheapest you could get anywhere. And I was like, I'm gonna buy 4 boxes worth of these. And I was like, I'm gonna buy like 144 basically at £3.40. And now it's just nuts. Now they're like, you can sell them for like somewhere between like 18 and 20, which I literally did
yeah.
yesterday, right? So like it's just mad. It's just mad, literally. And you can just constantly
But
do
we
this
love
with
it.
all the new stuff. Yeah, we will love it. Like
Love it.
people love the chase. Like there were people like buying Fusion Strike, and even Evolving Skies packs, ripping it in front of me and trying to pull something. Unfortunately, no one pulled anything crazy, but it would
Yeah,
have been really nice if they did. Um, but yeah, there's always going to be people ripping stuff and gambling. It's a hell of a drug, just like Wilson Mandela's just said earlier as well.
yeah. It's good
Um,
for us.
it's just mad, yeah.
So I'm
Um,
apparently I can behave because I never open stuff
yeah, same.
because
That's the thing.
I know
I
I'm gonna lose money and I don't
Yeah,
like it.
that's the thing. Us kind of being like more maths oriented. I mean, you're a literal mathematician, and
Yeah,
I have a data science / engineering background. We both look at the maths of what is the actual expected value of a pack. If I
yeah,
rip this, am I actually going to make money? And most of the times, you're really not. But the the probability that you might hit something crazy
yeah.
is nuts, and
Plus, to,
you can't sell that feeling of opening
yeah,
something and getting Moonbreon. I did that with Eevee Heroes back in the day.
yeah,
I bought something like 12 boxes back in the day, and I was like, I'm gonna open one because this is just a really fun set. I really just want to open it. And I got it for like a decent price. The one box I opened, I got the Moonbreon, and I was like, that is just an amazing feeling. You can't sell it. You can't
yeah.
sell that feeling. That's the crazy thing, though.
That's thin. But after, I mean, to be fair, I enjoy having sealed products because I like
It's
sealed
really
products,
nice. Yeah, it's really good.
so I don't mind it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it would be nice to rip some packs for me to do that. Well, man, what do you say? Do we call it a night?
Yes, we can. I was already losing my voice yesterday, and now I'm like starting to lose it again today. So yeah, I think it's a good time to call it
Yeah.
there.
So it was a pleasure having you. You're always welcome.
Of course. Yeah. Thank
Always
you. Thank
welcome.
you very much for having me.
And I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing you in other shows.
Yeah, it'll be
Hopefully,
really good. Yeah.
hopefully soon. In person at London
Yeah. I mean,
car
if you can
show.
make London, that'd
That'll
be
be.
really good. Yeah.
That'll be
There's gonna
I'm.
be one in February, and then there's another one in May, I think. I'm
May.
gonna try and get a vendor slot for May, but we'll just have to see what happens. Those are
Yeah.
really hard to
The
come by. Um,
May ones could be doable actually.
that would be good. Yeah, we're gonna try
And
really hard for May. Yeah.
yeah, as always, Steve, thank you, chat, for the support as usual. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks all for the nice comments as well, Wilson. cheers for the comment about the vending. Yeah, so yeah, hoping to do lots more of that eventually. But yeah, we'll just see what happens.
And maybe we'll see you on YouTube on your own channel. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, hopefully. I keep saying I'm going to eventually do it. I just have life stuff that keeps happening, so I'm just like,
Yeah. I
something
mean,
always happens. So
I haven't seen many UK let's say YouTubers doing vendors POV.
okay, so
So,
I can tell you all the main people. So there's Vivian. I can't remember his name. Vivian Collectibles, I think.
oh,
KB Pokemon, Pokebav. Those are like the three main ones. You get Amir Collects. I think he's starting to do videos. Pokemonster as well. Those I see all these guys. So I was watching all these guys' videos like before even this show because I was like, I need to know what kind of
what
happens
to do?
on the vendor side of things. Yeah, and I was just like, I'll just basically just copy paste what they do because it seems to work really well.
That's
And
hilarious.
yeah, why not? Yeah, but yeah, they're all great. I watched all their stuff. A couple of those guys were actually at the show yesterday, so I got to meet them in person.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
yeah, it was super cool.
But yeah, man, you'll
So
be
yeah,
fine. You'll be fine. I'm sure you'll
yeah,
be fine.
exactly. Yeah, it'll be all good.
It's
Yeah,
gonna have fun.
for sure.
All right, man.
All right,
People, thank you all for joining, and I will see you in the next one.
goodbye.